Hey all, Bear Ranger here. Welcome in. I'm going to take a look at some different combinations I've been playing around with using the Zord Builder System. I'd already done some in some earlier videos, but here's a couple more. Now this one, let me move this here out of the way. So I'm using the Bull Zord as a base. On the back, you can see where I took off the took off the Beetle Zord and the Shark Zord, or Swordfish Zord, and put the Claw Zord claws on. Now, with this, you can't lock down this part, using your little clips here, so there's nothing to hook onto. So you just have to be careful and stand it on there. For display, it's pretty good, but if you're actually going to play and start moving this around, that'll be real loose and could fall off. So what I did was, you can see where I used parts from the Legendary Messazord and the Lion and the Pat Striker, or whatever you want to call it, and then I used the Swordfish and Beetle from back here and put them on there for arms. And then down here you can see stuff from the Samurai Megazord and the other parts from the Claw Zord. Alright, let me move these out of the way. This one here, I used parts from the Claw Zord and the Legendary Lion, more of the Pat Striker, and these are the arms from the Legendary Megazord, and here's the wings from the Magic Dragon, of course the lion legs, and then on the back I added the turtle and the ape and the Claw Zord swords, but that's like that anyway on the Claw Zord. It's one of the configurations. So there's that one. Now here I use parts of the Megaforce Ultimate Megazord, arms from the Bull Megazord, and then these are from the I forget what you call it. The Zeo Racer. Yeah, that's these. Of course, those make nice little Gatling guns. The swords or weapons from the Ultimate Megazord will fit in the Bull Megazord's hands. And of course, down here, see I use the legs from the Legendary Megazord and the claws from the Magic Dragon. Okay, now this one, I got the Lion from Power Ranger Samurai, and then up here got the Tiger and the Tiger head. Down here I have two of the disc motorcycles from the Samurai toy line. And then the arms here, these are from the Gigazord, but it's a small version. This isn't the complete version of the really big Gigazord. But they make pretty good arms. Now, one thing I did with this was to use arms, or not arms, but parts from the Tiger tank. So you can put those on and use them for arms. Now, when you're doing stuff like this in the Zord Builder System, sometimes the parts don't want to fit together. If you really have to force parts on, I'd probably not do that, because you might mess up the fittings. So like some of these are a little bit tough to get off or on. So you might mess this up, and you might mess up the inside there. proceed with caution when you're doing this. Now let me get another group together and I'll show them. Okay, here's the first one in the next group. What I had to do was go back and kind of rebuild some things. I don't have enough parts to make all of these different combinations at one time. Of course, on this one you can see I used parts from the Samurai, Megazord, Bullzord, Megaforce, the Gosei Wonder Jet, the Red Lion from Gokaiyo. In the back I got the Daitinku. There's quite a few parts. And also the Naginata, I think I said that right, which was used in one episode of Samurai Sentai Shinkenger. It's a double-bladed sword, or it's a staff with blades on each end. There's that one. And also these, you could say, side-mounted Gatling guns from the Pat Striker. Okay. Now this one, the base of it is pretty much the Samurai Ultra Zord, and the Bullzord back here, Clawzord up here, but with some changes. You can see these are from Megaforce, so it's a sword and the headers. And I switched out the legs and put the ones from the legendary Megazord and added the red Zeo Zord vehicle parts there. And coming on around, now the claws are from, you know, the regular Ultra Zord, but I threw some disc in there. And in the back, you can see how I changed up here and added some from the Megaforce Megazord and some headers, and then the fist from the little Zeo vehicle thingy. Oh, and also added the claws from the Magic Dragon. Now this will hold together pretty good because it's hooked together, you know, like the Ultra Zord. Now one thing though, let me loosen this and I'll show you something. Let's try it that way. I had to lower the top of the Bullzord because normally he's up higher, so I had to lower it some to fit on here. Okay, here's a new expression if no one's used it. Instead of Megazords, how about Messazords? Because sometimes when things start falling like that, you get a mess of Zords. Okay. Let me just sort of move this out of the way. Alright, next I use the Gosei Wonder Jet. Now these here are from the Megaforce Ultra Zord vehicles. They're more like ATVs, I guess you could call them. But anyway, I use them for that. And then of course down here you have the hip and legs from the Megaforce Megazord, or the Gosei Great Megazord, however you want to call it. Now this one here, the connections are pretty loose. So sometimes you have connections that are hard to get connected, Other ones, it just wants to fall apart on you. This is one of them. But as you can see, I use the torso of the Ultimate Megazord, or Ultimate Gosei Megazord, Shark Zord, Mogido's Gatling gun and arms. And then up here, see, he's kind of front heavy. So I added another hip section here from the Megaforce Megazord. Put the part of the dragon on top, brought the neck out, stuck a head on it. It's kind of balanced it a little bit, but this one is kind of iffy. Yeah, see, and that falls off too. Some of your connections are tight, some of them are really loose. If they're really tight, like I've said before, don't try to force it. Just try to find another part that'll work, or try something else. Alright, and then here, I'm using part of the Gosei Ground Megazord. Now this right here is on kind of loose, because normally it'll fit this way, because I've got this upper part turned backwards. So I just barely put that on. And of course you got other parts from the Megaforce Megazords, headers, swords. Now of course down here, these are from the Claw Zord, and the dragon's on the back with a little hammerhead there. Of course on these you can always swap out the arms and the headers and different things, come up with different combinations. Okay, the last of this group, you can say I use Gokayo, parts from the Ultimate Megazord, the Gosei Great Megazord down here, with the parts from the Ground Megazord, and more of the Ultimate Megazord. These up here kind of put me in the mind of big shoulder cannons that I've seen in some anime, and also in Predator. You know, he had one on one of his shoulders. And then stuck in here is a little Magic Dragon. But with the Zord Builder thing, you can come up with all kind of combinations and make your own Zord, you know, if you can get it to fit together and stay together. Remember, Messazords. You heard it here first, folks. I have one last group that are made from the Japanese toys. I'll get them ready next.